The slave market was quiet now. The sun was going down. Most of the cages were empty. Screams had stopped. Buyers had left with their new property. But one cage still had someone inside. A small girl, weak, dirty. Her skin was pale gray. She didn't move. She just sat there, knees to chest, arms around herself. The traders called her worthless. She's broken, one laughed. No voice, no fight, not even pretty. What a waste. Maybe we sell her for parts, said another. Organs can still fetch a price. The girl didn't react. She had heard it all before. She had been in many cages before this one. Always last, always unwanted. Sometimes people hit her just to see if she was alive. But she didn't speak. Not anymore. Suddenly someone new walked into the market. A human. The traders looked at each other. A human here, this kind of market. He was tall, with dark hair, and a heavy coat. His face looked calm, but his eyes were sharp, cold. He walked slowly, hands in pockets, looking around. Too late. All sold. Nothing left but trash. The human stopped. His eyes landed on the last cage, on the girl. He walked closer. The traders laughed again. Not that one, friend. She's no good. Look at her half dead. Waste of credits. Debt. But the human didn't listen. He crouched down in front of the cage. His eyes met hers. She blinked just once. He saw her. Really saw her. What's her price? He asked quietly. The traders paused. You want her? I asked the price. Fine one shrugged. 10 credits, just to get her off our hands. The human nodded. He reached into his coat, pulled out a small chip, and tossed it to them. Then he spoke again, this time with command. Open the cage. The girl tensed. Her heart beat faster. Why was he buying her? What would he do? She'd been bought before. It's always for pain. One trader unlocked the cage door. The girl didn't move. Come, the human said. Still, she didn't move. Her legs were weak. Her body was shaking. He took off his coat and wrapped it around her small form. Then he gently lifted her into his arms. No one had touched her gently in years. She expected him to squeeze her throat or throw her to the ground. But instead he walked slowly, holding her like something precious. The traders stared, confused. He must be mad, one said, paying even 10 credits for that broken thing. As the human walked away from the market, the girl looked up at him. Just for a second. His face looked strong, but sad, like someone who had lost many things. He didn't speak again. She carried her through the dusty streets. They reached a small ship. Nothing special. Old, but clean. He laid her on a soft bed inside. She flinched, ready for pain, but instead he gave her a blanket. Then he walked to a cabinet and brought something back, a small bowl of warm soup. He sat beside her and said, slowly, she reached for the bowl. Her hands were shaking. She drank one small sip, then another. She didn't stop until it was empty. She looked up again. Not cruel, what's your name? He asked. She didn't answer. That's okay, he said softly. We have time. The girl didn't know what this was. Kindness? A trick? Why would a human help her? Why waste money on a slave no one wanted? That night, for the first time in many years, she slept without chains. But in her dreams, she still heard voices. You are nothing. No one will ever save you. You were left behind for a reason. She woke up shaking, but then she saw him. Sitting nearby reading something, calm as ever, and she felt something strange. Hope, asterisk. She woke up to silence. For a moment, she didn't remember where she was. Her body was tense, ready to run or scream. But then she saw the blanket, the small bed, and him. The human was still there, sitting in the same chair, watching her, not like a master, not like an owner, but like someone. Waiting. She sat up slowly. He spoke gently. You slept for a long time. She looked at the food beside her bed. Fresh bread, warm tea. A small fruit, no chains. No guards. She stared at him, her hands shaking. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said, like he meant it. She still didn't believe it. In her old life, every word was a trap. Kindness was followed by pain. Smiles were lies. But this human didn't fit. He stood and walked to a drawer. He pulled out soft clothes, clean, warm, not like the slave rags she wore. "Here, you can change if you want. I'll wait outside." He stepped out of the room. She stared at the clothes. Soft gray pants, a dark blue shirt, socks. She touched the fabric. It felt like clouds. She wanted to wear them. But fear made her fingers freeze. After many minutes, she changed, slowly, carefully. Watching the door the whole time, when she opened it, the human turned and smiled a little. "Better." She stood in silence. "Let's eat," he said. They sat at a small table. You didn't touch anything at first. He took a bite of his food, then waited. Finally, she copied him. A small bite. Then more. The food wasn't fancy, but it was real, honest. No drug, no test, no trick. She ate until her plate was clean. He didn't say much, but his eyes were always kind. He wasn't like other buyers. No orders, no yelling. No control chip in her neck. Still, she stayed quiet, still afraid. Later that day, she walked around the ship a little. It was small, but neat. She saw tools, old books, and small photos stuck to the walls. One photo stopped her. It showed another girl, also small, also alien. But her eyes were bright. Her smile was strong. The girl looked a little like her. She stared at it for a long time. The human noticed. He came closer. Her name was Lyra. She looked up at him. She looked up at him. She was someone I tried to save, he said. She tilted, her head confused. He sighed. "Years ago, I found her in another market. Like you, she was special, strong. But I was too late. She died before I could help." His voice cracked just a little. "She fought to the end. She never gave up. I still hear her voice sometimes, in my dreams." He looked at the slave girl now. "You remind me of her?" Her chest tightened. She didn't know what to say. No one had ever spoken to her like this, like she was. Someone, not a thing. That night she slept again, deeper, warmer. But while she slept, the human checked a screen in another room. A message blinked. Unknown signal detected. Low-level tracker active. He frowned. "They tagged her," he whispered. The next morning, she was stronger. She was stronger. Helped clean the table. She even gave a small nod when he offered food. He smiled. Then he showed her a small device. "This is for talking," he said. "You don't have to speak out loud. Just think. It helps with language." He put it near her ear. It beeped once. "Can you try it?" he asked. She hesitated, then whispered. In her mind, "Can you hear me?" The words appeared on the screen. He nodded. Perfect. Her eyes widened. It worked. Her voice came in the air now, soft and scared. "Why? Did you buy me?" The human sat down across from her, because no one else would. She frowned. "I am not useful. That's what they told you," he said. "Believe it," she looked down. Her fingers curled into fists. "They left me. Everyone left me. Not me," he said. Silence again, then she asked, "Are you going to sell me?" He shook his head. "No." "What? Are you going to study me?" "No." "What do you want?" He leaned closer. His voice was steady. "I want you to be safe." She didn't know what to say. Safe was not a word she understood, but deep in her heart, something cracked. A small wall inside her broke. For the first time, she whispered a name. Her own name. He heard it and smiled. Then the ship beeped. A warning flashed on the screen. "Incoming vessel. Unknown ID." The human's face changed. He stood quickly. "Stay here." She watched as he grabbed a weapon and walked to the control room. Something was coming, and it was coming for her. The ship was quiet again, but the silence was different this time. It wasn't peace. It was waiting. She sat near the window, watching stars. Her hands were shaking a little, not from fear, from confusion. What was this man? Why did he protect her? And why did he have a picture of someone who looked just like her? She had dreams again last night, but they were different. Flashes, a white room, wires in her arms, screaming. Then another girl, older, stronger, grabbing her hand and saying, "Run." Was it real? She stood up and walked back to the photo. The girl in the picture was smiling, but there was something familiar. The same eyes, the same small scar above the left brow. She touched her own scar. That girl wasn't just similar. That girl was family. The human entered the room. She didn't turn around. Was she pointed at the picture? Who was she really? She asked. Through the mental device, he stopped. His voice was low. Her name was Lyra. She died 3 years ago. She is my sister, the girl said softly. He looked at her, surprised. You remember? She nodded. I see flashes, her face. But I don't know what happened. He walked closer. She saved many lives. I was there. I helped her, but I couldn't save her. Tears burned her eyes. Her voice in the air was shaking. Where did she die? Secret lab. Hidden inside a mining colony, she broke in. To set the prisoners free, the girl closed her eyes. Then she died for me. The human stared at her. His eyes grew wide. You were there, he whispered. She was trying to save you. She nodded. I don't remember her face, she said, but my heart remembers her. He sat down beside her. Then we must protect you, 'cause whatever they did to her, they will try again with you. Suddenly, the ship's alarm buzzed. Screen lit up. Coming ship. No signal ID. Weapon systems active. The human's face turned cold. They found us. He stood up fast. Grabbed his weapon. Stay inside. Lock the door. No matter what. But she didn't move. They're here for me, yes, he said. And I won't let them take you. The ship shook. A small shuttle crashed into the docking side. The human took position at the entry hatch. The door hissed open. Only one person stepped inside. He was tall, thin, with a long black coat. His eyes were golden, glowing slightly in the dark. He walked slowly, confidently. The human pointed his gun. Stop right there. The man raised his hands. Tease. Human, I'm not here to kill you. I only want the girl. She's not going with you. She belongs to us. The human tightened his grip. No, she belongs to herself. The golden-eyed man smirked. You don't know what she is, do you? The girl stepped forward, ignoring the human's warning. Who are you? She asked. The stranger looked at her with something between pride and pity. You are Subject 17, the last one. Your sister was Subject 16. She died because she tried to break protocol. What do you want with me? He smiled slowly. You were built, engineered. You are not like the others. That power in you, it's not natural. You were made for control. She stepped back. The human yelled, Don't listen to him. But she looked at her hands, trembling. Strange warmth was inside her fingers, like fire sleeping under skin. Is that why I survived? She asked. Yes, the man said. No, you're special, but you need training. Come with us. We can awaken your true power. She looked at the human. His voice was strong. You don't need them. You are not their weapon. You are free now. The man's eyes darkened. We take her by force. Suddenly he moved. The human fired. A blast echoed. Sparks flew, but the man wasn't hit. He was fast, too fast. He charged toward the girl, but this time she didn't run. Her hand lifted by itself. Energy burst from her palm, a soft glowing wave. The stranger flew back. Hitting the wall hard, he lay there unconscious. She stared at her hand, shocked. Her voice whispered in the room. What did I just do? The human ran to her. Protected yourself. That's what. She looked at the man on the ground. More will come. Yes, the human said. But we'll be ready. That night, she didn't sleep. She sat alone thinking. She wasn't just a slave, not just a sister. She was something new. And maybe something powerful. Asterisk the next day. The girl sat in silence. Her hand still burned a little, not from pain, but from the power she had used. It felt like lightning had passed through her. She had never done anything like that before. "What am I?" she whispered. The human was working on the ship's systems, fixing the damage from the stranger's attack. His jacket was torn, his arms bruised, but he didn't stop. She walked toward him slowly, carefully. "Why are you still helping me?" He didn't look up. "Because you were left behind. And no one should be left behind." "But I'm dangerous," she said. He looked at her now. "No, you're scared. There's a difference." The ship beeped again. Another signal. This time, 5 ships. "They're coming," the human muttered. He activated the defense shields. "We won't be able to outrun them forever." She stood still, thinking, why do they want me? Why do you want me? "Turn to her because of what you carry inside you," she frowned. "A weapon?" "No, a key." He opened a small hologram on the table. It showed a map of star systems, and one red mark blinking. "There's a place," he said, "called Sector 9 Sigma. It's empty on all public charts. But your species, the original version of you, came from there." She blinked. "I don't remember. They wiped your memory," he said. "But they couldn't wipe your blood. You'd still have the code, the access, the link." She looked down at her hand again, and my sister Lyra. She knew. "She found out too late," he said, "and they killed her for it." Suddenly, the lights flickered. The human grabbed his weapon. "They found us again. This time, they're not knocking." The ship's outer hull was hit with a small EMP blast. It was nothing too strong, just a warning. Then came the voice, cold, robotic: "Surrender Subject 17, or face elimination." The girl flinched. She whispered, "They know I'm awake now." The human checked the systems. "We need to leave this sector." "But they'll follow," she said. He nodded. "Then we stop running." He opened a secret compartment in the wall. Inside was something old, something forbidden, a black cube. "What is that?" she asked. "An old Earth weapon." "Very illegal," he smiled. "But I'm not letting them take you." He walked to the ship's center and activated a cloaking system. Then he turned to her. "Can you control your power again?" She shook her head. "I don't know how. Then we'll learn. Together." As the enemy ships circled them like wolves, the girl stood at the center of the ship. She closed her eyes. Her mind was filled with noise, screams, commands, machines. Then, a voice, not from outside, from inside. "You are not weak. You are not broken. You are the last key." Her eyes snapped open, and they glowed soft blue like stars. Outside, the enemy ships prepared to fire. The lead commander gave the order: "Disable the human ship. Take the girl alive." But as they approached, a pulse of energy exploded from the human ship, not from weapons, but from her. A wide wave of light pushed the ships back. Not destroyed, but frozen. Systems shut down. Screens turned to static. On the human ship, lights flickered. Panels cracked.
Ow.
But inside the control room, the human smiled. "You're doing it." She was floating now, just a little above the floor, her hair moving like underwater threads. Her voice echoed not from her mouth, but from the air. "I remember now." He stepped closer. "What do you remember? We were protectors, not weapons. We held the balance between machines and minds, but they wanted control. So they hunted us. My sister hid me and paid the price." Her feet touched the ground again. The glow faded. The ships outside were dead in space. She fell to her knees, breathing hard. He caught her before she hit the floor. "You did it," he said softly. She looked up. "More will come." He nodded. "Then let them come." Later, as they sat in silence again, he asked her, "What do you want now?" She didn't answer right away. Then she said, "I don't want to run anymore. I want to finish what my sister started." He smiled. "Then we'll go to Sector 9 Sigma." She nodded, but her voice was cold now. "And we'll burn the place that made me." The ship was quiet, but inside her mind, a storm was rising. She stood in the control room, staring at the blinking map. Sector 9 Sigma, the place where her life began and where her sister's life ended. She touched the screen softly. "We're going back?" The human nodded. "You don't have to do this alone. I was alone for too long," she said. Now, I remember her face. As they neared the system, her heart beat faster. She had flashes in her mind, cold rooms, burning, lights and voices. So many voices. Subject 17. Erase memory again. Fails to obey. Increase voltage. Where's the sister? "Kill her if she interferes," she gasped. Her hand clenched the wall. The human ran to her side. "What did you see?" She looked at him, eyes wide with pain. "They didn't just test me. They broke me." He held her shoulders. "But you're still here," she nodded, slow but strong, "because she bought me time. Lyra, she gave her life to hide me. They chased her through fire. She led them away, while I crawled into a vent." Tears ran down her face. She burned, while I ran. The ship landed on a dark, dead moon. Once a science colony. Just broken walls and forgotten labs. She stepped out first. The air was thin, cold, but familiar. Every step she took, memories came alive. Metal doors, bloodstains, screams behind glass. This place was my prison. The human followed close, his weapon ready. But he knew this wasn't his fight. This was her memory. Her battlefield. They reached the main lab. The walls were burned black. Machines melted, but in the center, single chair remained, straps still hanging, dried blood on the arms. She froze. That was mine. Suddenly a light flickered. A voice echoed through the room. Subject 17. Returned to the chair. Her eyes widened. The AI was still alive. She backed away, but the human stepped in front. "We're not here for orders." The AI scanned him, unauthorized. Terminate. A laser turret dropped from the ceiling. The human fired first, destroying it, but more systems came alive. Robotic arms dropped from the walls. "Begin memory reconstruction," the AI said. The room started to glow. "Run." The human shouted, but the girl didn't move. She walked toward the chair. "No," he yelled. "What are you doing?" "Finishing it," she said. She sat down. Straps moved to lock her, but she didn't fight them. Instead, she closed her eyes. Her mind opened. Light flooded her brain. Past and present crashed together. She saw herself small, crying, begging. She saw her sister strong, fierce, fighting guards. She saw fire, explosion, her sister pushing her into a vent. "Don't stop." "Running," Lyra said. "Don't forget me." The memory burned into her heart. Outside the machine, the human was smashing panels. "Shut it down," he yelled. But the system said, "Final memory unlocked. Awakening full potential." Then, silence. The straps opened. She stood up. Her eyes glowed white now, not blue, brighter, hotter. She floated a few inches off the ground. The walls trembled. The AI said, "Subject unstable. Recommend termination." She raised her hand. A burst of pure light exploded from her palm. The lab shattered. Machines cracked. Screens fried. The AI voice screamed, then went silent forever. She fell to the ground. The human caught her. Smoke filled the air. Ash rained down like snow. She looked up at him. "I remember everything now." They walked outside together. The moon was quiet again. "This place is done," she said. He nodded. "And what about you?" She looked at the stars. "I'm not a weapon. I'm not a slave." She smiled. A small, tired smile. "I'm what my sister died for." He smiled too. "And what do you want now?" She looked at him. "I want a set. The others free." Asterisk, the lab was gone. Smoke rose behind them, and the cold moon was silent. But inside her heart, a fire had started. She was no longer afraid of her power. Now she was afraid of what she could become. Back on the ship, she stared at her reflection in the mirror. Her eyes still glowed faintly even when she tried to calm Down. The light under her skin flickered like lightning behind glass. The human brought her water. You did something incredible back there. She didn't answer. She was thinking too much. Remembering too much, I saw her die, she said softly. I watched it happen. My sister burned in that place, and I couldn't stop it. You were just a child, he replied. She didn't want you to stop it. She wanted you to survive. And now I have power, she whispered, more than she ever had. But I don't know how to use it. The human took her to a quiet planet, green, peaceful, hidden from scanners. A place to rest, to learn. Every day she trained. Every night she dreamed. She lifted stones without touching them. She heard thoughts not spoken. She even slowed time for just a second with one scream. But every time her anger rose, things broke, trees shattered, wind howled, machines fried. The power was growing, but so was the risk. One evening, the human sat beside her near a lake. Tell me what you feel when you lose control, he asked. She thought for a long time. Fear, she said. Not of others, of myself. He nodded. Then the secret isn't control, it's acceptance. I don't want to become a monster, you're not one, he said. And the moment you believe that, they lose. That night, she walked alone in the forest. The stars were above her. Then, she heard a voice, still playing hero, subject 17. She froze. From the shadows stepped a woman, tall, pale silver skin. Cold eyes? The girl gasped. Dr. Vera? The woman smiled. You remember me? She took a step closer. You cried when we took your sister. You begged us to stop. It was pathetic. The girl clenched her fists. Power shimmered at her fingertips. Vara raised a small cube. You want truth? Here it is. Cube activated and a projection lit the air. It showed a young Lyra, strong, brave, and angry. She was talking to Vera. You promised me freedom, Lyra said. I helped you catch my sister. Now let her go. The girl's heart stopped. No, she whispered. Vara smiled cruelly. Your sister gave you up. You were just an experiment. She made a deal. And when it fell apart, she tried to fix it too late. The power inside the girl exploded. Wind tore through the trees. Her eyes turned white. But her hands didn't strike. She dropped to her knees. Tears rolled down. She betrayed me. Vara crouched beside her. Come with me. I can give you answers. The real ones. You're not a hero. You're a creation. Just then, a gun clicked. The human stepped out of the trees. She's not going anywhere. Vara stood slowly. So, still playing the father figure? She's not alone anymore, he said. The girl stood now, quiet, strong. Maybe my sister made a mistake. But she still died for me. That counts for something. Vara narrowed her eyes. You don't know what you are, not what you made, she said. I'm what I choose to be. Vera raised a signal device. Then die with your pet human. The girl didn't flinch. She stepped forward, her hands lifted. But this time, the energy didn't explode. It moved like light through water.com. Focused, she aimed it at Vara not to kill, but to erase the signal. Vara's device sparked and died. Then she looked into the scientist's eyes. You don't control me anymore, Vara ran. The girl didn't chase her. She turned to the human. He smiled. You did it. She looked at her hands. I felt the anger, but I didn't become it. That night she looked at the stars again. I'm not a slave, she said. I'm not an experiment. She took a breath. I'm ready to fight. The stars were quiet, but the war was coming. She stood on the hill watching the old lab in the distance, the same place where her pain began.
Ow.
It was full of guards, machines, and weapons. The company had returned, and they were hunting her. They want you alive, the human said, loading his weapon. They want to control me again, she replied. But I'm not the same girl they left behind. Her hands glowed with calm light, not rage this time, just power. Let's end it. They moved through the forest like ghosts. The wind was cold, but her blood was warm. They reached the fence. The human cut through it with a laser. She slipped in like a shadow. Inside, everything looked the same. Cold walls, metal floors, blinking lights. She whispered, "It still smells like fear." They were caught quickly. Red lights flashed. Alarms screamed. Soldiers pointed guns. Drones hovered. Then she saw her. Dr. Vara, the cruel woman, stood on the platform. Her voice echoed, "You should have stayed hidden, Subject 17. The girl stepped forward. "My name is not Subject 17. Vara smiled. "You were always special. You were made to be a weapon. And now, you'll end the war for us." She held up a remote. A cage of energy slammed down around the girl. She screamed. Her powers pushed, but the cage held. It drained her strength. The human ran to help, but a stun blast hit him. He fell. Vara walked close to the cage. "You trusted a human? How sad. They always break." The girl fell to her knees. She was shaking. Weak then, she heard a voice. Not Vara's, not the human's. It was soft. "Sister." She looked up. One screen blinked on, showing an old video file. It was her sister. "Before the fire, I made mistakes," the sister said in the recording. "I thought I could bargain with them. I was wrong. But I never stopped loving you. I gave my life to give you a chance. So live. Be more than what they made you." The girl's eyes filled with tears. "I am," she whispered. "I am more." She closed her eyes. She didn't push the cage this time. She let go. The power inside her didn't burn. It flowed. Calm, deep, and then the energy changed. The cage cracked. Then shattered. Var gasped. "Impossible." The girl rose, glowing, bright like a star. The walls shook. She lifted her hand, and every weapon powered down. One by one. Lights died. Alarms stopped. The whole lab fell silent. She walked toward Vera. No anger. No fear. Only strength. Vera stepped back. "What are you?" The girl stopped inches from her. "I'm not your slave." She looked at the soldiers. Frozen. Unsure. "You all followed orders," she said. "You hurt children, but it ends now." She raised both hands and sent out a wave of light, not to kill. To free every mind touched by that wave. Felt it. Regret. Memory. Truth. The guards dropped their weapons. Some cried. Some ran. She helped the human to his feet. "You did it," he said. She looked around. "No, we did." Then she turned to Vara one last time. "I forgive you," she said. Vara stared in shock. "Why?" "Good. I won't carry your chains anymore." They walked out of the lab together, free people, not fugitives. The stars were bright again. The war was over, not by fire, or by choice. A few weeks later, she stood before a group of alien children rescued from other labs. They looked scared, lost, just like she once was. She smiled and knelt down. "My name is Luma." She said for the first time, "I was once a slave. I was once forgotten, but now I'm free. I will protect you." The human stood at the back of the room watching. "She became what they never expected," he whispered. "Not a weapon, not a monster, but a light. A light that no one could break again."